What is up, guys?
JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be doing my cut test for the Lander 2. Let's get into it. All right. What I plan to do today is we're going to head on down to the garage. We're going to go ahead and take this through the gauntlet, and we're going to do cutting test performance, meaning how does it handle the task that I put against this for cutting? How does it feel? This is not an edge retention test. That'll be something separate that we can do later down the road. But this is Kaiser's S35VN, manufactured for Knafs. We all probably should know Ben Banters. He's highly influential in the knife industry, and I love the guy and I love this model. This is very much reminiscent of a bug out as far as how it feels in hand, size, lightweight, crossbar lock. Really strong lock mechanism. I like it a lot. I won't be doing that test too much more because it does potentially damage the locking mechanism. It's not meant for that type of impact. But just wanted to show there that there's no issues, no lock rock, no side to side play. This thing is just an absolute beast. Let's get down to the garage. All right, downstairs in the garage with the Knafs Lander 2. Let's go ahead and check everything out. I got a few things to demonstrate how I expect this to function, and it does have a decent edge, a little bit of a thicker geometry on this one. It is not what I would consider a slicer, but a very good cutter. So really quick, we're going to demonstrate on some zip ties, just some belly cuts. Really good factory edge. Can't wait for my actual cutting board to get in here. But as you can see, I don't even know where that one went. You can really easily get down on the tip for any type of detailed cuts. I really do appreciate that. So this one doesn't have a lot of belly, but it does have some belly. So I think it will make it fairly decent to get down onto the tip for cutting through stuff like tubing and whatnot. I do have denim here to demonstrate that. Very strong lock. Very comfortable going through the denim ergonomically. Back it up a little bit so you guys can see. Yeah, very, very comfortable. Clean cuts, nice factory edge. I do really appreciate that. Very clean. And it's very comfortable. I do feel a little bit trying to power through that of myself going down through the scale. So let me try to get down on the thumb a little bit here. Yeah, that's much better. So good correction there. Very nice. Last but not least, we'll save that for another day. We have some single ply cardboard to demonstrate how it passes. And pretty much what I expected here with the thinner cardboard, the geometry and trying to get through that. It's kind of bunching up a little bit there. So let's try to cut this in half, and we'll go across the grain. I think it might perform better going across the grain here. Yeah. So the cardboard is bunching up. It's a little bit of a cheaper cardboard, and it's been stacked on the bottom of the stack for a little while, so it's probably been compressed. What I'm experiencing here is it has good bite, and it's definitely digging into it, and it starts into the cut really well, but then I am feeling the medium geometry. I wouldn't call it thick, but I'm having a little bit more resistance on that medium geometry, but very good edge from Kaiser. Let's see how the S35VN holds up. We'll go through a little bit more. Oops. Did I go into, yeah, I kind of went into the, there we go. Went into the sharpening tool there a little bit. That's my fault. Let's go through a little bit more. I want to see how it holds up. I probably should have gotten a little bit of a thicker piece of board. Oops. That was my fault. But it's very comfortable. Feels very good in hand. I do have to reposition. That's not the knife's fault. It's my hand grip. I am slipping off the board a little bit. I might invest in some gloves to help me with that grip. But, it's not that bad. I talk about the medium geometry. Not that bad. I am tending to want to slip out of the cut a little bit when I get towards the end. Let me switch sides. Maybe that'll help. No, I'm kind of out of space as far as what I can grip. But you can see it still moves through the cardboard pretty good. I think a little bit of a taller flat grind or a little bit more thinness behind the edge would really go a long way here. So let's just check before we strop it, just to see what the edge looks like going through the paper on this S35EN from Kaiser. Okay. Yeah, there's like 2 little spots. Yeah, there's a spot right about here. And I don't know if the light will catch it. That seems to be where it's kind of hanging up. Outside of that one spot, I would say it's still serviceable. Let's go ahead and run it across the strop here. There you go. All right, about 15 on either side. Make sure the burr was knocked off. Let's see. Yeah, much better. So a little bit more stropping, I think it would be even better, but came right back. Let's kick it back upstairs. Okay, so we were down at the garage. We're back up at the desk now. I feel so funny saying that because I'm doing all of this after I've done the cut test. So I did strop it up after I was done. I would say this knife has more of a medium geometry. So if you like to whittle, if you're heavy duty cutting, or using it on a hard use type of task, this edge is going to really be tough. More so than a thinner slice, your edge is going to be less prone to chipping or taking damages because of that. But it's still, I don't want to make it sound like it's overly thick. It's just thicker than most of my slicier knives, but it's still cut very well. It went through the material well. I found, like, as I was power cutting, putting my thumb on the jimping to kind of help push it through instead of gorilla gripping it was a little bit more comfortable. I was finding like I was falling into the liners because I just have large hands. That's like a me problem, not a knife problem. So it went through the material well. The S35EN, we can do an edge retention test later. This is the factory edge. They're usually put on with the belt. There's debate whether or not they hold up as well as stones. I think if you run the belt at a low speed and you're cooling the knife as you are putting the edge on it, you don't have to worry about a burnt edge. I really think that that's the difference from a stone. You go slow, you're not heating up the knife, you got the liquid down there to help with cooling. And I feel like if you cool your blade, if you wet your blade, and you have a home belt system, it'll be just fine. It'll hold up. It'd be like a negligible difference in my honest, humble opinion. But I am not a professional knife sharpener, so don't kill me in the comments. The knife really, didn't surprise me. I was going to say it surprised me, but it didn't surprise me. It has very good contoured scales that are still somewhat neutral. It's got a good drop point blade shape. It's going to be good for those draw cuts and those utility cuts. It's got a little bit of belly to help you with some of the tasks that you would want a belly for any type of rocking or getting down onto something, like if you were just trying to clip out a zip tie or something like that. It's going to do really well for that. And I just feel like for the money, you're getting a really strong locking mechanism, good ergonomics, a very, very well done heat treated S35EN blade steel. I feel like that is one Kaiser does really well. And good weight. It's going to be really supported in the aftermarket. Honestly, I'm waiting for Original Goat to drop some frag aluminum scales, and I'm probably going to grab those suckers up, especially if they do all those wild, crazy patterns. I know they're coming off their 12 days of Christmas, so they're going to be busy for a little bit, but I really hope that they do something. And maybe Applied Weapon Tech. They do some really cool stuff too, and I love their little knurling, but as it sits, Super comfortable, guys. Really well done. And I was happy with the cutting test. The only piece of feedback that I'll give, and I checked with Knafs KC, the tolerances on this one aren't super impressive in the lock position. It does have a little bit of slop. It's not tremendous. This is super nitpicky, but mine does have just a little bit of slop. And again, I did check with KC, and he indicated the same thing, just a little bit of slop there, but you really don't notice it when you go to fire the knife. And the fact that it's adjustable, you know, that might take care of it. It might put enough tension on there to kind of get rid of it. But I think the slop is over here. I think they probably didn't create as tight of a tolerance. I'm on the wrong side in this particular piece here where the crossbar lock hits it. I mean, super nitpicky. You may not feel that way knowing that you're spending over $100 for this one. But for me, it is very nitpicky because it doesn't impact anything at all. The knife still performs well. The lock is strong. It's not going to fail on you when you're using it to cut. It's not going to unexpectedly come open in the pocket if you're like running around and jumping around with it, like just, you know, normal stuff. You're not going to run into that issue. And I really like this because it's going to replace one of the knives that I got rid of that I use for like summer carry, light duty carry. That's what I'm looking for from this. And again, I love the fact that I'm going to be able to personalize this. What I got rid of, I couldn't do that. Let me know what you think. Are you interested or impressed or underwhelmed with the Knafs Lander 2? I love the bigger size. For me, you know, I don't think Ben Banters will ever watch my video, but he talks about that finger indexing, and he talks about the Lander 2 never being more than anything that you'll ever need. Well, there you go, my brother. Just like glove sizes, we need knife sizes, because some of us out there don't have those tiny hands to where that rule will work. Shout out to everyone out there that uses the links, likes, comments, and is subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of you. Shout out to my members out there getting the early access. Thank you for your support. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. And until next time, peace.